So we're going to start off by outlining our candy cane here in our thick consistency. This is a smaller cookie, so again, sometimes on the camera it looks a little bit bigger than it is, but we're talking about narrow spaces and not too large, so we want to make sure our outline is nice and thick and it's not too thin of a line. So when I say not too thin of a line, I mean cut your hole in your bag just a touch bigger than you normally would, because you want to keep all that flood icing in and on the cookie and inside those lines. If your outline is a little bit too small, like thin, it won't be thick enough to hold all that flood in. So now we're going to go ahead and flood. And if you wait till the outline dries, that kind of helps hold everything in place. What happens with flood is it tends to want to spread out and it kind of wants to go as wide as possible. And so we really wanted to keep it in this small area. So that's why we need a nice strong border. And make sure you have your next colors ready. We're going to use a red and green outline consistency. Now you can also use your flood, but sometimes my flood hole is cut a little bit larger. So I'm going to go ahead and use my outline consistency because normally I cut smaller holes in those bags. And because I'm piping right away onto my white icing that's still wet, this should sink into the icing and kind of give it a nice flat look. So what I want to do I would want to normally do these lines in a flood, but because the cookie is so small and I want those lines nice and sharp, I'm going to use my outline consistency. And again, it won't sink in super fast. It sinks in over time. If you're a little bit slow, it might take a little while longer or not fully sink in, but I find it a lot sharper and cleaner if you use the outline for these kinds of details on a smaller cookie. So we're going to go ahead and do 2 lines close together in each section. And then we're going to go in with our red, and again I'm going to use my outline consistency. So this is my thicker consistency again. So what I like to do on these ones is push out my icing a touch and get that icing attached to the flood, and then pull up and pull away. So push a little bit of icing out, attach it to the flood, touch it down so it attaches, and then go again. And then when I come to the end, again kind of almost like wiping off my tip, just very gently on the top of the flood. I don't want to push my tip into the flood, it's still wet, so I don't want to cover my tip in white icing. And that's all there is to it. Make sure you don't miss another Christmas tutorial coming up soon. And as always, thanks for watching and happy baking!